See. Hi. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm using my computer today, so we'll see how this goes. This is a first for me, so bear with me. Hi, I'm Metaphysical Mama. Welcome, welcome. Welcome if it's your first time, and welcome back if you're recurring and visiting again. I so appreciate. Hi. Don't mind all my book mess behind me. It's usually where is it? Let me see. Ta-da! My acquiring tower of stuff that I go through on a daily basis. Hi. So how's everybody doing? Happy Friday. It's Friday, presently October 22nd. I actually need to charge my other device. I'm going to actually do a little experiment while we're on here as well and see what happens after this charges a bit. Because I know I can use more than one device. I use StreamYard, which I still love StreamYard. And I barely, use any of the, options I'm sure I'm able to mess with. Yellow chapstick. I was just sitting outside. It's so beautiful. What an Indian summer we're having. It's like, I don't know how warm it is. What time is it? 12:29 presently. And I'm just sitting out there. And it's gotta be in the 70s. It's really, really nice. Really, really nice. I'm enjoying the Indian, they call it Indian summer, when the summer stays warm into the, later months of the autumn, the fall. So we're gonna play a little. I'm gonna we're gonna have some fun, as the title of the video says today. And I got lots of downloads and stuff. I was this book, this is an awesome. I barely have. I want to share this with our group, but as you can see, this book is like it's the book of books, and somehow this book has remained with me through so many different. Yeah, I don't even know when I got that book, how I got that book. I really don't even remember how I acquired that book. But I'm so grateful. And it has a lot to do with masculine and feminine, lots of ancient scriptures and stories. So we're going to get into that, I think, a little bit, possibly, maybe. And also, I just wanted to, I jotted down some stuff while I was outside, and this stuff be coming up. So I believe, right, the moon right now is in Taurus, and it's like conjunct Uranus. So we're going to do a little research into that. And at the same fact, right, so it's like, right, the butt, swamp gas from Uranus. So the moon, right, blue moon, so Uranus and the moon can both represent, right, the backside, right, so to speak. And also what's hidden, right? Nothing new that happens under the sun. Now, the reading I just did prior, I pulled a lot of animal spirit cards, and first was the hawk, and the owl also had come out. So a lot of birds of prey, which keeps coming up too, and like Jim Morrison and the Doors of Perception. If you don't know who the Doors are, awesome music group from 60s, 70s. And the Doors represents the Doors of Perception, but they just call themselves the Doors. And Jim Morrison, right, and number 27, numerology and what have you, and other symbolisms and stuff. I also have this book here. I'd like to kind of dictionary of symbols. So again, all knowledge, everything that we, right, use is knowledge. And what's for us will come to us And we have a right to, right, agree, disagree, right, right, red pill or blue pill, right, so to speak, red or blue, or black or white, or left or right, or which way do we go, what do you want? But you don't have to pick either, right? You can kindly decline or just let it pass on by, right? So allowing and learning how to do that and not carry guilt, and we're all going to be doing this together, right? And the more we all do this together, the lighter that weight will become, because no one should have to carry all of that weight, right? Like Atlas holds up the world, or right, people are going to have grudges and feel resentful if we don't all, right, do our share, right? And in order to do that, all we have to do is let go and care, right? It's 606 in, as I said that, right? So we don't have to think and worry so much about what is it I'm supposed to do, work or do, right? It's like letting go and learning how to be still in the now and present moment during the feelings of anxiety, being uncomfortable in any manner, breathing through them, because this is, right, like the laboring of Eve, or a new earth, right? We're birthing a new, say, system. We're allowing the old to fall away, and we're birthing a new, right? And the world represents our thoughts and our feelings, our atoms and our eves that are swirling outside of us, all around us, in the air, all the time, right? Through the waves, through the streams, through our dreams. Okay, the earth, right, that we live upon, in however we, right, perceive, right, doors of perception, however you perceive it is okay for it, right? And then allow yourself to expand into more multiple variations, right? More, allow the mind to expand, right? The mind is different than the brain, just like the world is different than the earth. I walk upon the earth, right? Everything of the material world is of Satan, right? So like all the books behind me, right? Everything, the computer I'm using, right? The necklace I'm wearing, the clothes I'm wearing, right, are all material. The material world is of, right, Saturnian, right? Satanic, Satan, right? Santa comes to bring material gifts if you're good, if you're bad, right? As far, right, as one version of, right, celebration or nationality, or however we want to, right, use that word, right? That's one way of, right. So the numerous ways that we have to look upon everything is what's amazing and beautiful in itself, right? And that's just one thing we're talking about. So what else we got, right? Assets, again, going into Uranus and the moon being conjunct, so we're going to get into funny Friday, right? So yeah, Uranus conjunct the moon in Taurus, right? The bull by the horns and doing the butt. Assets, right? Ass and set tries to set up Osiris, right? Or what's your mind set? Nothing is set in stone, right? Allow fluidity, right? And that's how we grow. I got butthole surfers. I say that often, and that's also like a punk rock band from way back. But yeah, the Ram, that Rosicrucian, that I actually, it's funny because another reader that I love, I'm not going to say names because I don't know if, but yeah, she also tapped into that. So that's definitely been popping up in the, fields of consciousness, the collective. Rosicrucians. Yeah, Secrets of the Holy Grail. There's a lot of, right, different, again, knowledge comes from so many different places. So when you're having like things are like kind of dropping down, right, we're receiving, right, big data codes, right, from like the ram. We just had full moon in Aries, like the ram, right? So ram also represents, right, memory, right? How many ways can we look at how a word can describe or, right, mean something? And then how many different languages? And then if we break it down into acronyms and then, right, et cetera, and go backwards, right? Ram backwards is Mars, Mar, right? Step into a Slim Jim. Yeah, praying mantis beings. The praying mantis is just 11-1. I gotta get my daughter to another a different one was bringing that up, and yes, we're watching Wu-Tang, and I was saying how, oh, please don't get upset with me. I'm like, I said to my boyfriend the other day, I was like, yo, Riz reminds me of like one of the mantis beings. Totally, he totally is. He's like all like wise and like they're very extraterrestrial, so smart, intellectual, extraterrestrial. And the other day, last week, my daughter had a praying mantis on the front door, and it was huge, like the size of our big one. And it was on the screen door at a house on the glass when she went to get in, and it stayed there a long time. I'm gonna ask her to send me the video or share it with me so I could share it with you too, because it was really amazing. And I watched, it was like, he totally was communicating. He like moved his arm, then he moved his leg, and he was completely having a whole blown conversation. Completely, yeah, right. Again, having intercourse, talking, sex, right? The acronym for sex is sacred energy exchange, right? And it also means so many other things, right? Look up intercourse in the dictionary. It all means talking. A friend the other day said to me, his name is Gary, he's telling me some riddles. I was like, I love riddles. He's like, I got some. And he's like, what's a 4-letter word that means intercourse and ends in K, but isn't the F word? And I already ruined it now, or maybe not. Might take a minute or two to, right? So yeah, our first thought always goes to a negative, right? And that's like, right, I have also written Cain, because that's also coming up. Yeah, and I said that in the video right before this too, and another one repeated that name. I was talking about Cain and Abel. She said Cain, Michael, and I got 2 blue candles. I have a yellow, a red, a pink, and a blue over there lit, and then I actually have another blue right here that I've lit. I have more over there, but the blue ones I was guided to light 2 for Archangel Michael, the blue, 1331. I just said that. And then she said Jolie, and last night, and in the last video too, I was talking about Maleficent. So again, in Fairy Friday, so lots of connections with all of us, what's going on. And I want to make sure we keep the peace with all that, because that's really important just to recognize and realize. That means, right, we're all coinciding. We're all bringing in, right, that same information. This is the Aquarian age, right, information age from big data. So it's getting rained down on us through the solar system, right? We're getting hit with corona mass ejections, solar flares, and that affects the electromagnetic fields of the earth, right? So within, as above, so below, and whichever way direction you go. So within, so without, as above, so below, right? This is science. It's a matter of, right, like having, right, it's like, oh, if I get onto the highway and, right, go, it's like, right, what we do, right, which way we go, oh, the many places we go, right, like Dr. Seuss in our minds, 1444. How far can we go, right, in the imagination or with the mind, right? Or we can get stuck in our head, right? Our brain can receive, right, so much information And we have the brain in our physical head. It's like a sponge. And it can get old. And if you drink a lot of alcohol, right, they call that like wet brain. And Algol is a star system, right? Algol. And please hit like, subscribe, and hit the little belly bell so you can get notified when I come on, and possibly, or whatever, when a new video comes up. If you like to, tap in, and if you're having fun, I appreciate. It keeps us growing and moving. Keep the energy flowing. And and it's just awesome, and just a cool thing to do. If like when we're hanging out, I always try to, like, when I'm on other people's videos, like, at least respect that much. I don't always get to leave a comment or say, or like pop in and say stuff, but I try to absolutely, like, right, like, so appreciative. It's like right. So it's just like thank you. And so it's like when somebody lets you go driving, it's like just saying thank you, right? Treating others how you would like to be treated. Yeah. I like that. 1616. So to get back to, right, coinciding and aligning, when we're all receiving a lot of, right, this big data information, right, and it's affecting our crown chakra, it's getting poured down into, right, the crown. So we have the brain in our head that's like a sponge, and then our whole body is also a brain. It's contained full of, right, atoms. And we're also bipedal man walking, right? Whether we're a female anatomy, biologically, or a male, right? We're walking on two legs, unless for another, right, reason we're not as a man, right? But otherwise, man just means, right, a two-legged. Doesn't necessarily mean girl or boy. Right, a lot of time in, like, terms of, like, scripture and what have you, man just means, like, right, man, meaning a two-legged, a hues of man, right? Adam keeps Eve, right, or Eve was made from Adam's side, right? The emotion is alongside. So emotion travels with thought, right? They alchemy together, they mix together all the time. Where constantly a thought can bring up a feeling can bring up multiple thoughts, right? Vice versa. In our heart here, right, we have our human heart, thump, thump, thump. But then in our heart here is where the heart chakra is. This is where we find buoyancy, true north, right? So this is where, our gut feeling underneath that can let us know if something's off. And then our instincts allow us to have discernment to balance these things out, so we're not getting, right, lost, washed under our own emotional wave, stuck in an outer realm because we allowed ourselves to get too far, wandering too far in the mental space and out in space. Pigs in space. Guilty. You want to find me? I'm way out there. And I'm also standing right here, right? Grounding's important, right? So, I keep this tomato has, like, stayed freaking, like, good, not molded. There was a few videos I did, I don't know, way back I don't know. It's still good. It's like, it was just 19 minutes in for grounding. Like, it's been, when I look at it, right, it reminds me to ground, right? So different colors that right, the different hues, different vibrational frequencies of the rainbow, right, of our soul, right, then are also our chakras different than the soul, right? And we build our soul upon experiences in the dream state, right? And the inner and, spirit, and what was the other? Blood equals life to your body. Water gives life to your spirit, right? Blood gives life to your body. Water gives life to your spirit. So again, that's masculine and feminine, right? The old man arose, stretched his stiff limbs, and began the long walk back to the city. This will be the central theme of your search. This is out of the Atlantis book. Right? So this old man, he played knick-knack on my thumb. You guys remember that? With a knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. This old man came rolling home. Mom had been a teacher a long time. So whatever, people, right? Yeah, right. We can get into that too, metaphysically, right? Nursery rhymes, fairy tales, right? Grimm's fairy tales. Words are, right? Spells. We spell a word. So, and different frequencies and sounds and, right? Why do they put different songs on commercials, right? Advertisements, adversaries. Why do they turn it up so loud, right? Because they know most people walk out of the room during a commercial, so they want you to still hear what they're advertising while you're going to the bathroom, or you ran to go make a call quick, or ran to go to the refrigerator and grab a snack, right? So, right, subliminal fascism. But again, right, or they live, right, glasses on. So, it's just a matter of awareness, being right, consciously aware. It's not like, oh my, everything's, and at first everything's going to feel like that. And right, first the truth's going to piss you off, right? It always does. And the more we learn how to deal with these emotions that trigger us and piss us off, so we're not trying to walk around with heavy is the head that wears the crown. Letting the ego run us, right? Letting that run the program. That means you let the devil, right? Devil's riding. It's like, right? As I said, Jesus, take the wheel. And Set wants to set up Osiris and not allow to Christ's child, right? Harad wants to kill all the children, right? Not allow to Christ the solar plexus, right? All dis-ease breeds in the gut also. The only reason for dis-ease is discord, or as my masculine will say, because he's more into the biochemistry, right? I'm like metaphysical, spiritual. He's more into the physical and biochemistry. So and both have to come together, right? In order to, along with material and number, math, everything has to come in to balance so that it can, right, honor the other, right, dance with the other, rather than come with spears and, right, wanting to fight, because that shit ain't right, and it ain't gonna work, right? It's like we have to come to a place internally so that we're not overstepping our boundaries or taking other people, places, or things for granted, which many have been doing for, I guess, really, really long times, right? And it's like, we've all know it. None of us are perfect. We're all perfectly imperfect, right? How about Forgiveness Friday? How many words can you come up with? F. Naughty, naughty. 4-letter word means intercourse, ends in K, is not the F word. Dirty, dirty. Right, which represents actually also Cain. The first thought is negative thinking, stinking thinking. So when we come from that place of negativity, we allow that first, right, that thought to take us away. We ran off, right, going to hide or whatever, become Jekyll and Hyde, all that other stuff. So allowing that to come back in and alchemize again, so you grow more fruit from your tree, right? You're the walking tree of life. You are living waters. So don't let others speak over your living waters and change the molecular structure of the atoms within your vessel, right? It's like our body's a body of water. So every word is a frequency key. So it changes all the little, right? They're like little snowflakes floating around inside, right? So every word all the thoughts we think, everyone swallow and program down our central nervous system and allow our bodies to run off of, right? We're allowing to be programmed. Be careful what words. That's why it's not about arguing and fighting. It's just being a little more aware of how we're thinking as a being. Where are we coming from? What patterns are we repeating mentally in our mind and our ways of thinking? Right? Being able to recognize that is first step, right? First of all, taking the time to pause to allow oneself to witness that is first step. Give yourself permission in order to go through what you need to go through mentally so you can see and witness and observe the patterns, right, that we repeat and that we tell ourselves or hide ourselves away from, or we don't allow ourselves to engage or partake in. And then we could feel some type of negative way, or see what other words like allow yourself to be, say, triggered, right? When other people say certain things, which words bother you? What kind of behavior bother you? And makes you start thinking then, right? Like up the stairs, right? Stuff like that. Pardon de me. My daughter's gonna come for lunch. So just becoming a little more aware of, right, our own inner, right, universe, how we, right, everything is energy. So how we're allowing, again, others' perceptions, expectations, right, supposed thoughts or beliefs, etc., all that fun, non-fun stuff, right? And then what we do to ourselves, where it's like, I can't do that. I'm supposed to blah, blah, blah. I'm supposed to be the XYZ. If I did that, then they would think blah, blah, blah. So when we start to go, see, right, into the monster mode, into all these different, right, sets of mind sets, states of consciousness, unconsciousness, right, states of being, emotional states, right? The old man arose, stretched his stiff limbs, right? Because he's been laying, had to sit still for lay around like dunes coming out. It's like he's just been laying, if we were honest, is like knocked over on his side. I'm a little teapot. Stretched his stiff limbs, the old man arose and stretched his stiff limbs, and he began the long walk back to the city. This will be the central theme of your search, right? So stretching our stiff limbs, doesn't matter how old we are, right? When we close our eyes, we're always a child of God inside. How old do you feel when you close your eyes? Yeah. And the long walk back to the city, coming back home to self, to witness all the different things that are going on, right? They're going back to Jim Morrison, Doors of Perception, right? Titans, 72 Titans within. That's like our interdimensional, all the little demonic selves that we have, right? Like, I think I just cut it briefly here yesterday, a few minutes, but I read on time, was talking about like, right, it's like if your demons want to play with my demons, or my demons want to play with your demons, like sometimes it's like, hey, it's just like, your kids or, sometimes we have to be a little more aware of, so we're not, again, so we're just coming a little bit more from that place, if you care, right? It's like, so coming from that place of treat others how you'd like to be treated, so that we can all have a little bit more, right? Have a little bit more of a harmonious way of living. And when we're in high vibration, we're nurturing Gaia, the earth. We're balancing our divine masculine and feminine. We're not allowing too much negativity to take over our program and run us into a muck and get stuck in the mud, right? We're becoming a little bit better at becoming aware, right? Learning how to drive, learning something new. It's like we're still in the same body, but we're just witnessing and becoming more aware of, right? Again, we're in October. All Hallows Eve, right? Hallowed be thy name. All Hallows Eve. Right? Anubis is protector of the dead. Right? The dead, is, we say, rest in peace. Not as not a finality. Rest in peace. Hecate also watches over the dead. Right? Cemetery, sacred grounds, where Gaia is, right, holding, or ocean, right? That Gaia is a living organism. Our spirit, our soul, our consciousness, those all develop throughout time, right? Just as our physical human bodies do. So depending on your point of origin, right, it's important to find your natal chart information, look into your vibration etymology of your name, you know, first, last, middle, right? Vibration creates form. And then man makes things with what we have, right, around. We use what we have to invent, make, right? Creation is a different word, right? Creation creates with the vibration that we all are, right? It's like alchemical madness and supernatural, spiritual, right? Mystery, mysticalism, magic, right? But at the same time, once we start to take a look and, right, open our eyes and start to birth a new part of ourself and allow more multi-dimensional parts of self to come into play and let it come in and flow, right? It's like a dance, right? We're always allowing, you know, the only constant is change, right? Is energy in motion. So depending on, right, energy goes where thought goes, right? And energy is also, right, emotion, energy in motion. That's what we call emotional body, right? It's electrical current traveling through our physical body, and our saltwater body, which is, right, a conductor of electricity. So how are we conducting, right, ourselves, our thoughts, our feelings, our spiritual body, our physical body, our relationship with our inner higher consciousness, right? Our others that are in our lives, our relations, right? Our relationships. So physical body with blood vessels, right? I have, right? So I'm like a ship, a vessel. So relationships with other, right, blood bodies. The blood gives life to the body. Okay. Water gives life to the spirit. Vice versa. So you don't want to have stagnant waters, right? You want right? It's like the motor's always running, the engine needs to be turned on. Those are two different things too. Just like we were saying, the brain and the mind, or earth and the world, the motor and the engine, right? Different subtle differences, right? What else do we got? Cortez de Killer. Yes, Seattle Towers. Oh, the moon. Hazel. Pretending, yeah, people pretending that they're others. It's just because they're afraid of their own selves, right? Which is, again, Peter Pan, scared of our own shadow. So when we're scared of our own selves, our own shadow, what do? We hide. We hide behind what? Right? Our little devil, the sun, hides behind a cloud, right? The big butt. Again, going back into Uranus and the moon. I remember when Nemo was like, I'm going to touch the butt. He's going to go hit the butt of the boat. And his dad's like, you better not. Don't you dare. And he's like, I'm doing it. And he goes and he swims. And he's like, poof. I'm going to touch the butt. And same with Enoch, right? Saw the butt, the backside of, right, either God or his ship, the big, if you're familiar with the book of Enoch, yeah, for me, information comes and goes and it doesn't really stick all the time. So I don't have, like, I'm not claiming to have, like, I know, no. I allow information to come through and I study a little bit of everything, right? And then I let it go. So I don't necessarily retain, because I don't hold on to it. That's like trying to keep something, then that's holding something hostage. See, that's not in a sense. So allowing things to be and having the awareness that what we need will come in that now moment is really all I need. I mean, I've been learning how to let go and shed and, right, face a lot of dark nights of the soul and, right, fall on my face, so to speak. I mean, or be put in a place of, right, isolation or negative vibration, or to be made to feel that I'm not cared about, or like whatever, just kind of left, so to speak. And not like it's like oh, poor me. Like, no. And it's not like I have some big ice heart that's like, either. No. Just I've always been put in those situations. So I've had a lot of experiences with also many others and myself then. And I've gotten to actually be grateful for that, because it's putting me in positions where I've gotten to take a look at many different walks of life and be around many who have struggled through the most difficult things possible. I was fortunate enough, honestly, when I was younger, I had been, like sent away. I was like on probation for the most ridiculous shit, for truancy. It was like I just didn't really show up to class or whatever. So it's like they had to find something, always, still is now, to try to make it look like I'm like whatever. So I didn't even understand it then either, but it was all whatever. I guess all for a reason, right? So, but anyhow, so I had gotten like sent away. I was like young teenager, like 14. And at that time, I'm in a tri-state area around the East Coast. And yeah, where I was able to, like, I knew I was familiar, and I was, acquaintances with Afeni, Tupac's mom. And she was very, very special to me. Not anything to do with, talk about, like when he sings about his mom, saying about his mom, that was all, yeah, absolutely true. And what a beautiful, I'll never forget her. Strong, amazing, powerful woman she was. And that energy is still, I can goosebumps. I can still feel her. I'm getting like teary-eyed. So, and interesting, this coming up. And Tupac too, very, 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 all eyes on me. Butterfly eyes. You know, where we find ourselves are in the most unexpected places. And if we allow our overthinking or our pride, right? Pride come before the fall, to overtake our experience, we miss out on so much because we judged it rather than allowing ourselves to go through it, which are two way different things, you know? And it doesn't mean you just jump into any water, because there's many, let me just say, ding dongs that y'all took that into like context, right? And yeah, y'all just dive into you know, way over mixing recipes. Too much confusion. Anyway, we all get confused somewhere, you know, and then beings can become, right, adamant, Adam, right? After we do something wrong, what do? We generally feel bad. We can run away or avoid. So that ain't nothing new under the sun either, is it? It's like if our kids do sorry, who stole the cookies from the cookie jar? David's cookies. Who, me? David. The Davidic bloodline. King Solomon. Now, if Solomon was the son of King David, now, but they kept rising, always, right? Rising. A new king. But that never happened until after a murder, right? Reincarnation. So in order to, right, have someone forget who they are, that like each time you come back, you have to start over. So I think that they're being able to like pick each time you come back. There's a Star Wars Trek episode, and it was like, yo, they dress up looking, they look like your family, they look like your familiar animals. They're gonna lure you, right, to like make it look like you're going to the light. You remember in Poltergeist, it says stay the fuck away from the light. The light's created out of the darkness. How can light create dark? Light can cast a shadow. When light disappears, it becomes darkness. But the light was created out of the darkness. A seed, a baby, a star, a tree. Everything grows in the dark. A thought, our consciousness, what goes on underneath the skin, right? Beneath the veil. Thicky veil. We don't see one another's hearts pumping and blood pumping through the veins, right? Like necessarily. Or, right, and the organs all moving and working and what have you. When that's all going on constantly, we don't have to think about that, right? It just naturally occurs. And naked is different than natural. El natural. Nature boy. And where was nature created from? I have to have like a magnetic, there has to be a consciousness that's developed in the middle of nowhere, where there is no thing, right? No thing is different than nothing. Or nothing, honey. These nuts. So to allow ourselves to be in that place where there is no thing, to rebirth ourselves, right? To be floating in the sacred pool. This card keeps coming out. Another 11, master number. 47, also 11, if we add them. And 41, unexpected visitors. A little rabbit over there. Like the big doors. And check out what else I had written down. Look, what do we have at the bottom? Strength. 44. Shut that door. Infinite 8, which is also that reincarnation. Okay? You don't want to get stuck in lightning loops. As above, so below. As above, so below. Round and round. Upside down. F that. Fuck that. Get the hell out of there. Ride the wave, baby. And an old friend told me a while back that if the dolphins protect the humans from the sharks. And if you see, there's like a fairy Friday on top of that dolphin, or a mermaidic being, or some supernatural, fantastic being. And we have listening. And the elephants keep coming up too. I got white elephants, the elephant, even on television, right? Everything comes into play, right? And multidimensionality, metaphysics, right? Everything is relative. And 8, again, and like Tesla said, think in the terms of frequency, sound, and vibration. If you want to understand the secrets of the universe. And then we expand to the multiverse. We recognize we're more. And I have opened here too, which I have a friend that always said this about the word faggot. Speaking of old man. And it's an old wise tale or ancient tale that there's an old man, an old father. Then he gathers his children around. And he says to them all, he gives them all a stick. And he tells them all to break the stick upon their knee. So they all try, and they're all like, rah, and they all feel strong. He's like, good job, good job. And he says, now, he gives them all a stick again. And he says, now, together, let's tie these sticks into a bundle. And now, after we have them tied together into the bundle, that bundle is called a faggot. And we're going to pass it around and see if anybody can break the bundle, the faggot, upon their knee. So they all pass it around, and nobody could do it, not even the father. And he says, we understand that when we stick together, we're unbreakable. So I'm going to actually read, it's not so long. This is from the Symbol Dictionary of Symbols book. I think it's Penguin reference book. So faggot, in ancient China, and many things started in China. Do you know tarot? Like the I Ching? Tarot also started in China. Along with money. I owe you. The emperor's new clothes. The emperor's naked. Does he even know? In ancient China, faggots, and then they have in parentheses, sin, were the symbol of fleeting human nature. You know, the moon also represents sin. Successfully bound together by life and unloosed by death. Fire is the spirit, which we were just talking about, spirit, right? Water, spirit gives water life, right? Fire in the water is really spirit, like, yeah, right, for spirit to come alive. Fire is the spirit, Chen, which spreads from one faggot to the next without ever going out, right? The eternal flame, puff, puff, pass. Pass the tochipone left pan side. pardon my pronunciation, Chuang Tzu repeats this teaching, which he regarded as very ancient, and his commentator adds, the state of life is the bundle of faggots tied together. The state of death when they are loosed. So when one thinks they're strong on their own, right, then we're not part of the whole. We're not able to bend with the wind. We're not able to receive the messages we need to receive. We're not part of the whole. Like the first step, right? Jacob's ladder, steps. She's buying the stairway to heaven. You can't buy your way. You have to travel through. What did I say? You can't take it with you when you go, right? It's part of our currency right now, but, right? Money. Root of all what? Time is money and money is time. Same entity. Uranus and the moon, and at the behind. The behind sign. The S. Satan, get behind me. Don't dogs sniff buttholes? Butthole surfers? Just saying. And playing. Okay, let's get back to the reading. Okay, so yeah, wait. First step in AA is, right, I admit I am powerless. And there is a power greater than me. Right? And then I start to understand the law of one. And I'm also an individual person. And at the same time, it's my responsibility and my accountability, right, in order to be part of that flow, right? Ride the wave, right? It's like you can't just drive a car if you haven't, right? And then go out on the road, or you shouldn't, right? Drink and drive, and right? Mad, mothers against drunk driving. So who's been drinking false cups of shit? Who's been drinking the poison? Who's been drinking fizzy lifting drink and saying it's holy water or whatever, right? Who's falsifying, impersonating, and making things appear as if it's good for you, but doesn't really give you the full information? Makes it just, right? So then we're unsure. If you're unsure, don't just follow whoever says they're the leader. That'll end you up not in a, right? Sometimes you gotta, right, go your own way. Go your own way. Flying high again. You gotta fly above the labyrinth, above the chaos. It's like you see all that stuff going on, but don't allow yourself to get too tangled in the maze, right? The corn maze. Halloweeny time. Okay. Let's see. Fire is to the faggot what the spirit is to the body. If in folktale and legend, witches are often depicted carrying a bundle of faggots, right? Or on their broom. It is undoubtedly because of this symbolic comparison of the flame of the faggot and the spirit. Occult knowledge and power are deceptively hidden beneath poverty and rags, right? Do you hear what I just said? Occult knowledge, which occult just means hidden. And we're in the apocalypse. Apocalypse means revealing of truths, right? Revelations, revealing the revealing, right? So in order, we want knowledge is power, and it comes with great responsibility. Knowing when to use it and when not to is wisdom, right? That's it. Coming up to a higher plateau. Knocky knock. Hold on, my daughter's here. I'm almost done. I'm on a video. I'm just finishing reading. So occult knowledge and power are deceptively hidden beneath poverty and rags, just as the faggot of dead wood conceals the riches of the spirit and the energy of fire, right? So they use words to piss people, right? Again, trigger words to piss us off so that it covers up, right, the truth behind the beautiful nature of what it could represent or does represent in many other forms. So don't allow the first thing that pisses you off to, right, block you, and you build a wall up so then you can't see the beauty behind what someone's trying to shove in your face, not let you see, making you feel bad about, or using words in a manner that triggers, right, anger, resentment, and anxiety, or whatever have you, whatever negative feelings they bring up or put you in, whatever state of negativity, right, mentally and emotionally, a word can trigger. Don't, right, look them up in different forms so you can have more freedom to not feel stuck or mad or angry. Because then if you're picking up a sword or holding on to now, right, and then that's when we become that nasty one, right, the evil one too. Okay, so let's see. Occult knowledge and power are deceptively hidden beneath poverty and rags, just as the faggot of dead wood conceals the riches of the spirit and the energy of fire. The lives of the Sufi saints linger lovingly on the picture of the mystic who attained a state of sanctity by gathering faggots for his community's kitchens over a period of 40 years, right? Key words again, and it's spelled out 40 years, right? 40 days and 40 nights. And time is very different, right? In the eyes of God, like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Time is just a measurement of moments and tooth, right? So our memories. So yeah, on that note, we're under almost hitting an hour, and that was so much fun. And I so appreciate your time and energy hanging out with me. And please like, subscribe, hit the bell, share, comment, and come back again and hang out. I'll probably do another reading or something, pop up on again in a little bit. All right. Mwah. Peace out. Thank you so much. One love.